I've never told this story publicly before. I'm 32 now, but this happened when I was 27, during January of 2021. I remember that month more clearly than any other period of my life, not because something dramatic happened all at once, but because fear settled into my routine so quietly that I didn't notice how deep it had gotten until I was already trapped inside it. I had just moved into a small rental house on the outskirts of a quiet town in northern Michigan. It wasn't isolated enough to feel abandoned, but it wasn't close enough to feel safe either. The neighbors were spread out, separated by trees and long driveways, and at night there were no streetlights. When the sun went down, the darkness didn't feel empty, it felt heavy, like it was pressing in on the house. The house was cheap, that was the main reason I took it. 2 bedrooms, old wood floors that creaked even when you stood still, and a basement that smelled like damp concrete, rust, and something faintly rotten. I worked remotely at the time, so I was home almost constantly. January came with relentless snowstorms, the kind that swallow sound, the kind where you step outside and realize how quiet the world can be when it doesn't want you to hear anything. The first strange thing happened during my second week there. I was working late, sitting at the small desk in the living room, when I heard what I thought was the wind hitting the side of the house. It wasn't violent or sudden, just 3 soft knocks, evenly spaced, almost polite. I stopped typing and listened. At first, I convinced myself it was ice sliding off the roof. That happens in winter. I'd grown up around snow. I knew houses made noises. But then it happened again. 3 knocks, same rhythm, same distance between them, not random at all. They came from the back of the house, near the kitchen door. I sat there for a long time, staring at my screen without actually reading anything. I didn't get up to check. I didn't turn on any extra lights. I just waited, hoping it wouldn't happen again. It didn't that night. The next morning, I made coffee and looked out the kitchen window, and that's when I noticed the footprints. They were behind the house, in the fresh snow, clear boot prints, adult-sized. They led straight toward the back door and stopped about 6 feet away. There were no footprints leading away, none coming from another direction, just a line that ended abruptly, like whoever made them had simply disappeared. I stood there longer than I want to admit, trying to come up with a logical explanation. Wind, snowdrift, someone cutting across yards, anything that didn't involve someone standing behind my house in the middle of the night. I told myself it meant nothing. The knocking started happening every night after that. Always 3 knocks, always between 11 and midnight, never louder, never softer, never rushed. It didn't sound angry or desperate. It sounded patient. I tried to ignore it. I tried sleeping with headphones on. But even on nights when I didn't hear the sound, my body still reacted. I'd wake up with my heart racing, my skin cold, convinced something had happened, even if I couldn't remember it. About a week later, I woke up and noticed the basement door was open. I knew for a fact I had closed it the night before. I was obsessive about that door because the basement made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't explain. I stood at the top of the stairs, looking down into the dark. The light was off. The air coming up felt colder than the rest of the house. I called out, asking if anyone was there. My voice sounded weak in that space. Nothing answered. I didn't go down there that day, or the next. The knocking stopped for 2 nights after that. Those were the worst nights. The silence felt deliberate, like something was waiting for me to relax again. On the 3rd night, I was sitting on the couch when I heard the knocks return. But this time, they weren't coming from outside. They came from below me. 3 knocks from the basement ceiling directly under my feet. My stomach dropped so fast, I thought I was going to throw up. I told myself it was pipes. Houses have pipes, old houses especially, but pipes don't knock in patterns. Pipes don't wait. Then I heard footsteps on the basement stairs. Slow, heavy, careful. Step, pause, step. Whoever it was wasn't trying to be quiet. They weren't trying to scare me either. It felt like they already knew I was afraid. I grabbed my phone and locked myself in the bathroom. I sat on the floor with my back against the tub until the sun came up. I didn't call the police because I didn't know what I would say. Someone might be in my basement didn't feel real enough. I was terrified of sounding crazy. The next morning, I forced myself to go down there. The basement was colder than usual. The smell was stronger. There were muddy footprints leading from the bottom of the stairs to the far corner. That corner had been empty before. I was sure of it. Now there was a folding chair placed there, facing the stairs. Not folded, open, positioned. I stood there shaking, realizing something I hadn't wanted to admit yet. Someone had been inside my house. Not once, not accidentally, repeatedly. I moved out 3 days later. I slept in my car the 2nd night because I couldn't make myself stay inside again. On my final night, I went back one last time to grab the rest of my things. I told myself it was safe. It was daytime. Nothing would happen. I was wrong. Around midnight, as I lay on the mattress on the floor, I heard the familiar sound again. 3 knocks. This time, they were on my bedroom door. I didn't breathe. I didn't move. I stared at the door as the handle slowly turned, just enough to let me know whoever was there understood how locks worked. Then the knocking came again, 3 times, from the inside of the room. I left everything behind and never went back. I still don't know how long someone had been living under me, or how long they were listening before I noticed them. I was 24 when this happened, and it was January of 2019. At the time, I was living with my parents again after finishing college. It was supposed to be temporary, just a few months to save money before moving out. Their house was in a normal suburban neighborhood, the kind where nothing ever really happens. Neatly trimmed lawns, driveways close together, porch lights that come on automatically at dusk. I had lived there most of my life, and that was part of why what happened unsettled me so deeply. There was nothing unfamiliar about the house. I knew every creak in the floors, every sound the heater made when it kicked on. I knew how the walls settled at night. January was always quiet there. Snow softened everything. Cars moved slower. People stayed inside. By 8 o'clock at night, the entire street felt asleep. That kind of quiet can feel peaceful, but it can also make you feel exposed, like there's nowhere to hide if something goes wrong. It started with my car. One morning before work, I went outside and noticed frost covering the windshield. That wasn't unusual. What was unusual was the handprint on the driver's side. Perfectly clear, 5 fingers, the palm pressed flat against the glass, like someone had leaned in close. It was too large to be mine. I remember standing there longer than I needed to, my breath fogging the air, trying to decide if I was overreacting. I told myself it was probably a prank, teenagers messing around, someone brushing snow off their hands. I wiped it away and drove to work, but the image stayed with me all day. The next morning, it was there again. Same spot, same size, same clarity. That's when I felt the first real wave of fear. Not panic, just a quiet, creeping realization that something wasn't right. I checked around the car. No footprints, no smudges on the doors, just the handprint. That night, I told my parents. My dad took it seriously enough to check the security camera pointed at the driveway. We watched the footage together. Hours passed in fast forward. Snow falling, the car sitting there untouched. No one approached it. No shadows, no movement. At no point did a person appear. That bothered me more than if someone had. A few nights later, I woke up suddenly around 2 a.m. I didn't know why at first. I was still half asleep when I heard it. Someone whispering my name. It was soft, close, so close it felt like breath against my ear. I sat straight up in bed, my heart pounding. My room was dark. My door was closed. The hallway light was off. Everyone else in the house was asleep. I told myself I had been dreaming. That happens when you're stressed. But it happened again 2 nights later. Same time, same whisper, same tone. Not threatening, not urgent, just familiar, like someone who knew me well. After that, I stopped sleeping deeply. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, waiting for it. Sometimes it came, sometimes it didn't. But even on nights when it didn't, I couldn't relax. I felt watched. One night, when I heard the whisper start, I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight immediately. The sound stopped mid-breath. I scanned the room, my hands shaking. Nothing was there. That's when I noticed my closet door was open. I never leave it open, ever. I hate the way it looks in the dark. I closed it and shoved a chair in front of it before going back to bed. A week later, I realized my bedroom window was unlocked. I always lock it before sleeping. I checked the screen. It was intact, no damage, no sign anyone had been there. When I told my parents, my dad went outside to check. There were no footprints in the snow beneath the window. The whispers changed after that. They weren't just my name anymore. They were longer, clearer, short sentences, things no stranger should have known. Childhood nicknames only my family used. Memories I hadn't spoken about in years. Embarrassing moments. Private thoughts I'd never shared with anyone. It felt like something had been listening to me for a very long time. One night, I decided to record audio while I slept. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to sound paranoid. I set my phone on the nightstand and tried to sleep, even though every instinct in my body told me not to. The next morning, I listened to the recording. For hours, there was nothing but silence, occasional movement, the house settling. Then, at exactly 2:17 a.m., my bedroom door creaked open. I hadn't opened it. I knew that. I held my breath as I listened. Footsteps entered the room, slow, barely audible. Then a voice whispered right next to the phone, "You're not pretending anymore." I moved out the next day. I didn't pack properly. I didn't explain much. I just left. A month later, my parents called me. They had been cleaning out my old room. My mom's voice was shaking. She told me they found deep scratches on the inside of my closet door, long, jagged, like something had been trapped inside and wanted out, or wanted me in. I still don't sleep in the dark, and I never park my car near my bedroom window anymore.